So within my last video, I had given you guys the top 3 setups to trade this week. The first setup that we went over was Tesla call options once it drops back down to fill that gap below at that key support channel at $977.20. As you could see, the strategy worked out once again, and it would have literally gotten you in at the lows. This was all stated within the watch list right here to buy Tesla calls when it drops to $977.20 for a push to 1K. As you could see, Tesla stock ended up hitting that key gap close reversal level, that key support level, right? The best strategy in the game. You could visually see right here, there was a gap to fill below on Tesla at 975. It fills the gap, has a reversal, shoots back up to 1,000 plus to fill this gap. Look at how history repeated itself. There was a gap to fill below at 977.20. Tesla stock filled the gap. It had a reversal and it popped back up to fill the gap at 1,005. Ever since it hit that price target of $1,000, it has been attempting to sell off. You could see it had a very nice pullback once it filled this gap. Very nice pullback for a put opportunity. And we actually called that out within the chat room. I also said Tesla puts are looking good here at 1,000. Unfortunately for me, I was focused on other setups. I had 2 trades. I did buy Tesla in the pre-market. I got in at 97,975 shares. I was playing the gap close reversal in the pre-market on Tesla, and I just had a very small win on it. It was nothing crazy. And then from there, I stopped focusing on it, unfortunately, but I still managed to end the day on a green note. My account is up 2%. The trades weren't that phenomenal. They would have been if I were just more prepared and more focused. I had a nice trade on UAL. I made a quick 10% return on this one. UAL was a stock that was at a major resistance level, and there was a gap to fill below, so it was the gap fill strategy, but it started off as the gap close reversal strategy. So I noticed we got key major resistance on UAL right here towards 53s. I did end up chasing it, so my exit was phenomenal. That's what made up for it. But if I didn't chase it, and if I got in at the best price where my strategy told me to got in, the reason why I didn't is because I wasn't watching it at the time. I actually traded this based off of a member who alerted this on the live stream today. But you can see it had a gap down just like Tesla, and it had a reversal, shot back up to fill this gap. Once it filled the gap, it turned that previous support into resistance, formed this double top, and then it sold off very, very hard from 51.45 all the way down to 49.73. I bought the puts all the way down here when this was at like $50.20, and I got out towards the lows for a quick 10% return. If I would have got in where my strategy had told me to get in, I wasn't watching this at the time. I didn't even have this set up on my radar. So many other setups. It would have been over a 50% return. But that really put me in green on the day. And then I had a trade. This was my L for the day. It was a very small loss. I believe I was in at $2.75 on the contracts, $15 strike. I got out at $2.55 for a very small loss, and I was sized in a lot less on this one compared to UAL, so that helped put me in the green as well. But as you can see, that $15 strike is now trading at $2, so it's a good thing I cut that one fairly quickly, right? Because it would have been a much bigger percentage loss. But yeah, with that being said, this one, I bought puts around here when it was at in the 14, like 50-ish range. And then it got squeezed right here, but I told myself I'm going to hold because it's looking bearish. So I held, it came back down to support, started trading up sideways, and then it really ramped up. So once I noticed that it was trading up sideways in this bullish pin form right here, I quickly got out before this massive squeeze right here for a very, very small loss on that. So I did the right thing with that one. But yeah, the account is up 2% on the day. Cliff was another good one. We had mentioned as our bonus play in the watch list. Cliff puts at 28.95. So unfortunately, it did not hit our key level. It got to a high of 28.59. So it partially filled this gap, had a reversal, and then sold off to 26.22. Cliff puts went crazy along with UAL puts. And in terms of Tesla, like I said, I did buy this in the pre-market, and it would have worked out if I would have held. I didn't like the price action. And then from there, unfortunately for me, like I said, I stopped watching it, but I still managed to, pull through on the day, and the account is up 2%. And I ended up chasing a setup, right? And I also had a small loss. So to even go green on the day was absolutely phenomenal in terms of the trades that I was making. But yeah, in terms of Tesla, what were the confirmations? What were the bullish reactions to be buying this, right? So the key level was $977, right? $977.20. That was the key level to dip buy this for the gap close reversal. You could see how history repeats itself. There's a gap fill right here. It fills the gap. It rockets back up to thousands to fill this gap, right? So history repeats itself, right? That's the setup we were looking at. So how did Tesla react when it filled the gap? You could see as soon as it filled the gap at market open, it had a spike. It ripped all the way to 985, which is a good sign. Had a pullback, which is normal. And when stocks spike, they're going to have pullbacks. So what you want to do is you want to see if it forms higher support. And you can see your previous low is right here towards 975. And it started forming higher support. Higher support, bullish wicks, another breakout, which is even better. Now it's at 992, and then it pulls back towards that gap fill level again. So in terms of confirmations to buy, these ovals were all bullish confirmations to be buying. The reason why you'd be buying right here is it filled the gap here, it bounced, it formed higher support, and it tried to break out, and it formed bullish pins. That's the reason to be buying there in terms of bullish reactions. Reason to be buying right here, it had another breakout, and it's forming more higher support with bullish pins coming in. Reason to buy right here, it still has a strong foundational support at the key gap close reversal level, 977.20. It's forming bullish pins, trend reversal candlesticks, right? And it's already had multiple breakouts. So it's been trying to fill that gap the whole day. So odds are if it keeps holding up, it's going to really ramp up to fill that gap. And SPY was looking bullish at the time as well. So that was the play of the day. And then you could have played the inverse as well. It was a back-to-back gap close reversal. It's phenomenal. The strategy got you in at the low of day and the high of day. And this is what I want students to be doing. I want students to be taking advantage of the watch list, of the strategies, of the self-education, making their own trades. I don't want them following my trades. Like, this was definitely one of the plays of the day. And we did have members take advantage of it without my live trading assistance. Because like I said, I wasn't trading this one today, unfortunately for me, but I still ended up green on the day. But yeah, we had some students trade this one. Got to give a big shout out to him. Tesla puts 25%. Use the gap close reversal strategy. You could have traded gap close reversals both ways on Tesla. Riser, very nicely done, man. Account is up 1.63% on the day. Very nicely done. Dangsta, he ended up, I believe Tesla calls. He bought the Tesla calls and he flipped $2,800 into $3,500. That's absolutely phenomenal. That's almost 2 times the cost of Trader Society. It's absolutely phenomenal. Made nearly $800 on that. So yeah, big shout out to you guys who are absolutely crushed it, man. He got into the program after he made $7,000 on a Tesla play. Absolutely phenomenal, man. He used the watch list and he made $7,000 before even joining the program, which is truly incredible because I mean, $7,000, that's nearly 18 times the cost of Trader Society. And that's before he joined the program. So if you can give that value to people, you're always going to have a phenomenal team behind you. So big shout out to him. Big shout out to members within Trader Society. Tesla was the play of the day. It had a gap close reversal, and then it had another gap close reversal right here and right here. 3 gap close reversals in one single day. Got to be laser focused on that strategy. So what are going to be the new best setups heading into tomorrow? So first things first, in terms of SPY, and I gave this update out in the in the session, in the live trading session today. So at 9:12 a.m. I had stated that going to be very careful with puts in between the channel. One of the levels that we discussed, which wasn't the best level was 438. We had discussed if we see resistance at 426, we'll look to buy puts with a tight stop. So I'd give it an update at 9:12 a.m. Going to be very careful with puts in between the channel as stocks are micro oversold. And we have plenty of big earnings coming up this week, which is bullish. And the best price for puts is 438, and the best price for calls is 417. Trading in between is not the best thing to do, and it will be very challenging if you choose to do so. So if you do, make sure you size in much lighter. That's what I explained for the SPY. And I even said later on at around, when this was at 422, I was telling people when this is at 422 today, if you're buying puts at this point, you deserve to get squeezed. Like SPY already bottomed out right around here at 420. The gap fills at 417. Don't go chasing this for a small gap fill. You gotta get in at the best prices. Best prices for puts were the levels we stated last week at 447.50 and 451. Those 2 key levels were the levels where I told people to buy puts on the SPY, right? So I didn't play any puts or calls on this. The reason why I didn't buy calls is because it didn't hit my key level, and that's okay. You know, stocks will hit our key levels. It's just going to take time. There's going to be times like today where they partially fill the gap. You can see right here the gap was at 417. It bottomed at 418.84. It partially filled the gap, just like Ader stock. Ader stock had a gap to fill at 385. It bottomed at $4.05. It partially filled it, and then they both skyrocketed. They both had our gap close reversals. So that's what you call a partial gap close reversal. I like to wait until the gaps fill. I don't like playing partial gap close reversals because over time, these gaps are going to fill anyways, right? And if you do play a partial, you want to be very close to the gap, because the wider you are away from the gap, the more risk and potential against you are exposed to, because that gap could fill at any time, right? You don't want to fight a battle in between, right? So it's just about waiting for these key levels. They will hit. Sometimes they're going to partially fill and they'll have the reversals, and that's great. Like, it happens, guys. But at the end of the day, we're on the right track. We had the right mindset. We had the right strategy. It just didn't hit the key level, so I didn't decide to trade it. So when it does, I will be in on that trade, and within time, it will trigger. So in terms of the SPY, it partially filled the gap and it had a reversal. And it even had a gap close reversal. It's crazy. The strategy did work. At 426, we did have a micro reversal. When SPY hit 426, there wasn't much upside here, and it crashed all the way down to 424. Those 2 points, you can make a quick 30 to 50%. And that's what we do. We get in, we get out. We don't hold these. We get in, we get out. We take the meat of the move. We lock in our gains, right? So the strategy even worked at 426, which is the level where I'd stated if you were to buy puts in the middle, to buy at 426, best price 438, right? So SPY had a mini gap close reversal right here, and then it came back up and it closed very, very strong. So I mean, once this once this previous closing price reacts to support, which it did right here, which did right here, which did right here, form higher support, that's very, very bullish. So if you're going to put, you got to get out if it's reacting as support, right? Once it starts to break down and reacts bearish, forms lower highs right here, that's when it's really bearish. So with that being said, in terms of what SPY did today, it partially filled the gap at 417. It bottomed at 418.84, had a reversal, a midday reversal at like 12 p.m., rocketed up to fill this gap at 426, had a micro reversal where you could have made a nice quick profit within like 10 to 30 minutes of trading it. And then it turned the previous closing price into a support level, and it started to break out. And you can see it's currently up as well during extended hours at 429.30 right now, right? And it's on the way to fill the gap right here at $438. So in terms of what are stocks looking like, what did Monday what has Monday told us? Here's what Monday has told us so far. We have a big earnings week, which is bullish, and stocks have just bottomed out very close to their key gap fill support levels, to levels where we were planning to buy them, right? We were planning to buy SPY at 417. It had its major reversal at 418.84. We were planning to buy Ader at 385. It had its major reversal at $4.05. And you might be saying, wow, we missed out. We're waiting for the best price. Well, guess what? We had three trading plans. We had 3 setups. And Tesla hit the key level. So there you go. Tesla was the play. Tesla is the only one that hit the key level so far, and it worked out phenomenal. This bottomed, the gap was at 977.20. The low of day was at 975.30. Got you guys in the lows, and the price target was literally the high of day. So not only is it getting you into the lows, I mean, it says right here, Tesla calls at 977.20, the low of day. This is posted at 6:51 a.m. for a push to 1K. And then I stated in the chat later on, Tesla puts are looking good here when it was at $1,000. I didn't play it. You guys can play it if you want to, right? I'm very selective and very specific in how I trade, the times I'm trading at, the volatility, the price action, and the strategies and the setups. But you can see when it hit our target and when it filled the gap, had a reversal, dropped 20 points, had another reversal, dropped 23 points, right? So that was phenomenal. Tesla was the play of the day, and it hits. This is why you want to watch multiple setups, right? Because we had great setups on our radar, and one of those setups hit our key level. So the opportunity to get in was there. Tesla was the play of the day. In terms of how are stocks looking right now, Monday has told us that stocks are very micro bullish. The market is flipping for the micro. things are very, very bullish right now. When SPY forms a bullish candlestick like this nice bullish wick, this nice bullish hammer right here at key support, partially filling the gap, having a reversal, and it's been beaten down. This was literally at $450 on Thursday, right? If you're chasing puts that low, you deserve to be squeezed. You deserve to be money. The big move already happened. I told people, go back and watch the videos. 451 and 447.50. Those two tops were the levels that I recommended for puts, right? So if you're going to chase all the way down here, you deserve to get squeezed. You know, the world isn't coming to an end. SPY isn't going anywhere. History repeats itself. Like, just study what's going on. Look, SPY literally did what Tesla did. Tesla had a gap to fill at 977. It filled that gap long ago, had a reversal, rocketed to $1,000, did the same thing. Same thing with SPY. SPY had a gap to fill here at 416. It filled the gap and it rocketed. And then look what happened today. The only difference was today it partially filled the gap, and it happens sometimes, and it's okay. It's okay. I don't like playing partials. I like to wait for the gaps to fill. As time goes on, the gaps are going to fill anyways. So why even bother with the partial, right? But this is just a classic example of an overreaction where SPY has a massive sell-off. SPY has a massive sell-off. It partially fills the gap, has a reversal, rockets back up to fill this gap at 438, right? So this was all expected, and we were on the right track. We were on, you know, the right side of the equation for this particular situation. I told members twice, once within the watch list and once during midday at around 12, to not chase SPY. I mean, let me see if I could find the message right here. Yeah, it's just this chat is like super active. It's going to be really hard to find. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Yeah, so it's going to be way too hard to find, but I stated it in the trading channel. So right now, everything looks bullish, right? These are strong bullish trend reversal candlesticks. They bottomed at key support. Everything looks bullish. So in terms of what we're looking at right now into this week, within time, not right away, but I do believe this by the end of this week, I think SPY is going to hit 438. I think we're going to see a gap fill to 438. In terms of buying opportunities, we're towards the middle low end of the channel. So it's a little tough to be buying right now. It really is. This was just one of those situations where the best dip buying price didn't trigger, so I didn't buy it. And now everything looks very, very bullish, and it does look like it's going to continue to go higher, right? It's just not at the best price. That's the only issue I'm seeing. I will say this in terms of the SPY, one of the key levels will be 428.51. Once 428.51 can break out, turn into support, we're really going to start to see a gap fill play to 438. So from here, just know things are looking very, very micro bullish. I would avoid puts in terms of puts. Like I said, let's wait till 438.06. The quicker SPY goes back to 438.06, the better. So I'm looking to buy puts for a micro in and out gap close reversal, something like this where SPY hits 426, a nice 2-point pullback. We get out, we lock in profits. That's what I'm looking to do at 438. And then in terms of swing trades, if we can get a bearish candlestick on the daily at 438, I'll look to make a swing trade, which isn't determined until 3:55 p.m. So my main plan is to mainly wait for put options, right? That's my main plan. And I'm waiting at 438. That's what I'm waiting for on the SPY. In terms of ADR, I am not interested in puts on this particular stock. Let me just double check one thing on ADR here real quick. So the high was 583. The previous closing price was 585. Okay, so scratch that. There's a gap to fill on ADR at 585. I am interested in puts. So if 585 can react as a resistance, I'll look to buy puts on ADR, ride it back down under $5 a share. That's the best price for puts on ADR, 585. These setups are still relevant. We just got to wait. So SPY calls 417, still relevant. Just got to wait, right? So SPY calls at 417 and SPY puts at 438. If you trade in between, it's going to be very tough and challenging because there's a gap to fill here. There's a gap to fill right here. There's going to be a lot of flip-flops trying to fill the gaps, right? So I just like to wait for the gaps to fill. Like right here, the gap build, formed the bearish reaction, sold off hard, right? That's what I like doing, right? Trading in between is very, very challenging. But if you were to trade in between today, it was pretty obvious that, we were at the lower end of the channel. So if you're going to trade in between, this is micro oversold. 450 all the way down to 418s, partially filling the gap. Who do you think is going to win? The bulls are going to win. Like, it's just so micro oversold. You're towards this lower end of the channel. You're going to have the audacity to try to buy puts, especially at a key support level, at a key breakdown. When SPY was at 450 on Thursday, we know what SPY does. It recovers. It comes back. Like, even right here, it looks like it's the end of the world. It drops from 473 all the way down to 420. And then just a week later, it rips back up to 460. Like, this happens all the time. These are overreactions, man. You can't be buying puts this low. If you do it, you deserve to be squeezed, especially when SPY was at 450 and we called out the key levels last week. So that's the game plan for SPY. I will keep an eye on it in between. I'm just saying stocks are very micro bullish right now. Look at Apple. These candlesticks that I'm showing you, these are very bullish candlesticks. I mean, just look at the candle right here. Look at the candle right here. Same thing, right? What happens? It rockets, right? Everything's looking micro bullish right now. NVIDIA is looking micro bullish as well. So you're going to see this same trend with a lot of blue chip, big companies, big stocks right now that are forming this bullish candlestick that looks like this, just like on the SPY, just like on the Apple, and they're all at key support, like NVIDIA, like Apple, like SPY. So just know everything is looking micro bullish right now. I'm kind of on the sidelines at the moment. Some plays that are on my radar, I gave you guys the key levels for SPY and ADR. Tesla is off the watch list. It had 3 gap close reversals today. So Tesla's played out. That worked phenomenal. So that setup is done. On to the next one. NKTX. I'm waiting for the first red day. For this one, I'm waiting for the first red day. It'd be pretty cool if we can get a gap fill right here to 24 somehow, some way. But I'm just waiting for the first red day. Once we get the first red day and it gaps down, wait for it to rip back up to the previous closing price, buy the put options. If you see a stock at a key resistance level like UAL and it gaps down, having the first red day, wait for the morning rip to the previous closing price. Very simple. That's where you buy the puts. I love shorting. I love buying put options on stocks that had an overreaction like UAL that had a massive gap up. They trade at key resistance with big downside potential to come back down to fill the gap. You see what I'm saying? And I love buying the puts on the first red day. UAL ended up having its first red day today. And then in terms of when to buy them, wait for the morning rip for it to go from red to green. Once it goes back to red, buy the puts. When you see the bearish confirmation crack of support, buy the puts into those confirmations. That was a great setup. Unfortunately, it wasn't on my radar till later on, but still a nice quick 10% return. But that's what I like doing. And I want to do that with NKTX. Very simple strategy. So yeah, that's my main game plan heading into this week. So those are the best setups at the best prices. I'm mainly sidelines at the moment. For SPY to keep rocketing, it needs to really stay above 426. And for it to really rocket, it's gonna have to hold this 430. 426 and 430 is your make it or break it level. If it breaks above 430, we're on track for a gap fill to 438. If it reacts as a resistance at 430, we're on track for a move down to 426 bottoms. It's going to try to fill the gap at 438. If 426 cracks, it's going to get ugly and SPY is going to sell off hard. So 426 is your make it or break it support level for the SPY. And the key breakout level is 430. 430 breaks out. We're on track for the 438 gap fill. That's the thoughts on the SPY. Everything is looking very, very overall micro bullish. I'm not interested in puts. Everything's looking very micro overall bullish. It could be something like this, where SPY just rockets straight up, or it could be something like this, where SPY bottoms out, it forms a channel, it chops up for a couple of days, then it rips. Either way, SPY looks like it's heading to 438, so I'm micro bullish on SPY. That's my thoughts. That's my analysis for the overall week as of now. I will keep you up to date. If you do want to join Trader Society, our private group, our team. It's going to be the first link down below in the description. Once you join, you get instant lifetime access to everything explained within the first link of the description. Just to give you some background, you get lifetime access to the chat room, to the members within the chat room, where you can add us as a friend on Discord, contact us one-on-one directly. There's plenty of great members in the chat room who are absolutely crushing it within the market. And you do also get access to the live trading streams every single day, live at market open at 9:30 a.m. You get to watch me trade these live. I typically just trade the first hour of the day when it's most volatile, when it's most lucrative, where it's very smooth in and out, right? No choppiness, no stuff like that. You get in, you get out, you make a nice quick return. That's what I like to do, and you get to watch me trade live every single day at market open. You also get access to the recordings of those live streams. And then within the chat room, you get access to my real-time trade alerts, the entries and exits, and then of course the money-making watch list. I'm telling you, when you learn this strategy, when you learn this system, and you'll learn it within the video lesson library, you're going to be able to be self-sufficient and just take advantage of these plays on the watch list. You're not going to be waiting around for alerts. You're not going to be waiting for me to make a trade. You'll be able to be self-sufficient and, utilize this watch list on your own, and then find your own stocks, find your own trades, create your own watch list, stuff like that. So if you are looking to become an independent self-sufficient trader, Trader Society is going to be the right program for you, because that's what we do. Within the video lesson library, you will learn risk management, position sizing within the video lessons. You'll also learn mindset and psychology training. And you'll also learn, of course, the gap trading system, the unique gap trading price action strategies that we are consistently using to make money within the stock market. I mean, you really have to ask yourself, who is consistently calling out the bottoms and tops of these stocks, pointing people in the right direction of these trend reversals before they're reversing? It's almost as if we're setting the trend before the trend sets itself. So if you want to be a trendsetter, this will be the right program for you. We specialize in gap trading reversal strategies, and it's really going to point you in the right direction for trading, for the overall price direction, right? So everything is explained within the first link down below in the description. As soon as you join, you get instant lifetime access. You can get started trading with us as soon as tomorrow morning. I will see you guys within the live trading stream tomorrow morning. I will also send you guys an updated watch list with the new stocks that pop up in the pre-market. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video.